Katerina, it's lovely to see you and to share this time with you. Where are you at the moment?
Now I'm in the north of Ukraine, not far from Kiev. I'm really touched very much when I see what really happened here. And when I meet people. It was very big event in their life. And they feel it very close. Usually I live in the south of Ukraine, where the war is very active and my city is attacked each day. So I need to go to another city to live already 1 year. My son is a soldier, so I came for 1 week just to support them.
Yes.
And in several days, I came back to the south again.
Our hearts go out to you, Katerina. This is such a difficult time, and yet you are producing such beautiful materials. When did you discover you were an artist?
It's a good question. I like it very much. My mother's relatives, they all have skills for painting, and I even have my uncle Anatoly Razbitsky. He is a famous artist here in Ukraine.
So it's in your family?
Yes, it's from my family. My mother saw that I have some skills, and he put me in the art school when I was just 9 years old. Art really became a part of my life and my big resource. I was a teacher of art, and I try to say, but the teacher of English.
You are doing fine. I can understand you very well.
It is my child's trauma. My mother was a teacher and she always told me that I speak bad.
We understand that very well.
Okay, thank you very much. I was really nervous about this.
Don't be nervous. You're doing beautifully.
So I was teaching in some small village school as teacher of English and art. The war started in Ukraine. It was in 2016. My son was there in the world in 2018 when he was just only 20 years old. That's why I started to work with soldiers, with mothers, with wives of soldiers. And I absolutely became a trauma therapist, and I used sand tray and MDR.
When did you paint your first cards and stones? Tell us how that happened.
It is an interesting story. I have a wonderful teacher. Her name is Lisa Ramsley. She taught us how to use the sand tray. It was a wonderful course. Next year, when she came to the university, to our institute, she lost her baggage in the airport. And there were all these figures, and she has just a few of them. So we have got an idea to paint some images on white stones to solve this situation. At the time, I painted just some trees, flowers, leaves, and nothing about emotions. But on this course, we had a course of sexual trauma and abuse. It impressed me very much. So I was painting the pictures which came to me after this course. And it was the first collection of the stones. They were black, white, and red, where I showed the pictures. Because I have some talent in my life that I can express very complicated feelings in very simple images.
True.
It was near 7 years ago, and my colleagues, students from USA, asked me to paint stones for them for their practice.
I'm not surprised.
Each time I went to the university, I always took some paints and brushes with me. And I was studying during the day, and all night I was painting. And so I can pay for studying, you see.
Wow.
I had not so much money for this, but it was enough to pay for living and food and for tickets to Kiev and back. One lady, it would be nice if you will organize the Facebook group and you can share the pictures there. And I did. and my group was 12-person only, but they could sell the stones also using Facebook. From this time, 6 years ago, people started to use the stones in their therapy, and for me it was very interesting research process. And one man called me, he is a therapist. He says, I work with young men, they are addicted and they would like to create stones for this. And we discussed how to do it, the best images, and I created collection for them. Then one lady, her name is Natalie, and she asked me to create the set of stones for personality disorders. I didn't know what to do, what to paint. It was difficult, but we created wonderful set of stones. Now it's already in 35 countries, and people start to share how they use these stones. It's interesting to know how people use the stones with other different kinds of therapy, with poetry, with sand tray. I have near 700 different images. I started to make metaphor cards. It's very simple pictures, but they have a lot of meaning and symbol for people.
So each person would have their own meaning. Each person would have their own metaphor in these cards. Very powerful.
Like this picture, children are playing or children are hiding. Is it funny for them to see it in this place in the wardrobe, or they are scared?
So you created these cards, and interest is growing now. The world of psychiatry and psychotherapy and psychology are getting interested in your cards.
Yes, I created them before the war. I took some special courses how to do it professional, using special rules for this. I taught how to create the metaphor cards. The war started and I couldn't get the copyright. Everything was closed. 6 months ago, I got the copyright and I could print them.
The war started as we know it when it became world news that the invasion of Ukraine takes place. This affected your images? This affected what you painted?
This deck, to meet myself, was painted using my experience working with people which had trauma events in their life. My friends saw the pictures, they were worried because they thought that it's my own experience. And some people wrote me that maybe you need help, we can help you. It's just a tool for real professional work. When the war started, it was a really very scared and terrible time for me. I know that your country, United Kingdom country, helped a lot for our Ukrainian people. And we never forget this support. Also, I meet Yasmin. I always dream to paint with hearts because heart shows our inner world. It's a very deep symbol of the person. And she says, maybe you will start to do it. And they say, Yasmin, I don't know if I will survive to this morning, but I will start. And I was painting the heart whisper deck day by day, and I scanned these pictures and sent to Yasmin because I told her, Yasmin, maybe I will not survive in this war, but you will have my pictures. And Yasmin, she was very gentle and very attentive to my emotions. I expressed the events which were happening the first 4 months of the war, and my pictures was very emotional and very traumatic. Yasmin, she helped me to express also the war in our mind. For example, there is one heart with broken and I need to send my son to the war. The last picture when the woman is sitting with a died soldier, and it was really the most big fear, and I painted it, it became more free. I started to paint other hearts, for example, heart with a chessboard or frozen heart, or heart with seeds,
Yeah.
or heart with doors.
Yeah.
And it was already the ideas of Yasmin.
Yeah.
It was very therapeutic for me. First, I expressed what I felt, and then I started to paint ideas, and they make me really free and healed more and more. Therapists and psychologists here in Ukraine can buy it. It's rather expensive.
Okay.
If we will compare the price.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to make this deck. And if I have some extra money from my colleagues abroad, I can give as a present to my colleagues here, which are working with children, with soldiers' wives, mothers. And so we have a lot of work here. And for me, I have a very big honor that I can make this gift for them, you see, to help them. I worked with trauma a lot before the war. I decided I will do some in other direction, and I started to use art coaching to work in another way. The war came, so I think maybe maybe I will continue to be trauma therapist because we have a lot of work.
We have been hugely impacted by your work, Katerina. Your cards are now being used all over the world. This is amazing, and we are so thankful to you. Is there anything else you would say to us?
Yes, I would like. Many colleagues ask me to paint stones. I noticed that when they ask me to paint stones for their clients, mostly when they choose pictures, it is like a mirror of their own feelings. Often people start to choose, for example, 15 trauma stones, and I already see this inner child of my colleague. And I always say, okay, but you need also have positive stones, stones of resource. As a result, I decided to create trees and seas. I want to say that I will create very positive, very optimistic, bright, new deck, which will be very good resource for your clients. The tree is a symbol of the person, and the sea is the symbol of surrounding space. The person can say, I feel like this tree, and the atmosphere around me is like this sea. And then they will choose the card, the picture of the tree they would like to be.
Katerina, thank you so much. That was wonderful to meet you and to see you and to know that you're well and you're still finding the ability to smile. And thank you from our hearts for all that you're doing with the stones and the cards and everything else you're doing. So thank you so much.
It was very pleasant to speak with you. And for me, it's very important to know that all my feeling and expressions which I have in my heart, they are useful for people. And it's not only my imagination. I think sometimes it's like some leading from God, or maybe it's my talent which I can share with others. So thank you very much, you, Pauline, and all my colleagues which are listening. I hope we will meet together because I have a lot to say to you.
Well, bless you, Katerina, and bless your work. And thank you for being a great blessing to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.